Hey guys.
This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Welcome everybody to the last edition of the War Report After Dark before WrestleMania. A lot to break down. We got to go over our picks for Saturday and Sunday, especially now since they gave out the order early, which is unusual, but okay. But welcome everybody to the last episode. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Oh, great time to be a fan. Even if you're not a fan, you're fucking jumping on this time of year.
I mean,
Because it's WrestleMania, baby.
It's that time. It is that time of year. It's exciting. It is exciting. But now the question is, did SmackDown and Raw get you more excited about anything in particular? I mean, obviously, we had follow-up with Roman.
Yep.
And Paul and Seth and Punk, which I think I'm more excited about than anything else because there's so many different ways this could go. Like, the biggest shock of it all would really be Heyman leaving with Rollins.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
That
would be the
that's
biggest
not
shock.
the big.
I
That's
think
not the
that's
biggest shock.
what's going to happen.
It would be a shock, but it'd be stupid.
The
I don't
biggest
know about
shock.
that. What do you think the biggest shock would be?
The biggest shock would be Brock Lesnar to come in, name himself the original Paul Heyman guy, wreck shit up, and Rollins goes over.
Oh,
He's gonna beat the shit out of Roman and Punk, which could set up a triple threat on that side of the view.
Oh, I do like that. I do like that.
I mean, I know we're
Dangerous
going to.
alliance with the Heyman guys.
It could be. I mean,
Imagine a stable of
Well, they could meet
Roman,
at the end, but you could milk this shit. Forever.
Roman, Punk,
And Brock.
and Brock.
I still. I mean, not that we're going to get right into the.
I
pick.
don't think they would do that, by the way.
No,
I'm just saying.
I think. What we were saying earlier about Rollins seems like these other guys. Everybody's seems to be focused on. Roman's focused on Punk. Punk's focused on Roman. There's a whole thing with Heyman with those two guys.
So they cancel each other out, and that's how wrong.
Yeah, it's almost like this triple threat for the women's title where Io seems to be the one that's not the focus, and I think she's the other. That's the other triple threat match where I think she's going to sneak a win.
Yeah, see, I was thinking that too. I
I
was thinking that. I was thinking Io is going to
I
be the
hate
one
the
that is.
fact. I guess it's set up that way for we could get behind Io, because I do really hate the fact that they just keep dissing her and shoving her in her face. It's like, come on.
But that's like she's playing the Rollins role. Like they're
right.
both in a similar situation.
Well,
Because the focus really has been Punk and Roman and Heyman.
Oh,
And he's just kind of been background noise, except for the last couple episodes, where now it's really getting you to think. I mean, the fact that Roman mushed Heyman's face, you know what I mean? So,
I faced them.
right? Like, so, I really. But see, now the other fuckery would be if in the end he stays with his tribal chief, and it was all,
But on his best friend, you think he'll do that?
All right. Before we get deep into it, our good friend over at YouTube, David Rosca, the second perfect 10, the
Never
second
fails.
to none, Trish Stratus versus Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Champion at WrestleMania 41 this Saturday night. I mean, listen, the fact that there's been no promotion or build and we're days away, I would say it's not happening. I think it would be pretty horrible if they did it without any kind of promotion. Although, apparently, Chelsea did send out a tweet saying that she's fed up and she's gotten her lawyer team in order going after Aldis for her unhappiness with not being booked at WrestleMania.
Yeah, she should be mad.
She very much should be. David Rosca. Yeah, David Rosca, Bianca Belair will win again, women's champion. She'll be 5-0 if she does. Again, I just
don't see it happening.
I don't either, and she doesn't have to be the one. No,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's I mean, it's a new streak. That's interesting that she's probably got the longest active streak.
That is. Bianca Belair is the modern day Simone Biles as a women's wrestler. All right, listen, I may be able to get behind that, but that doesn't mean she's going to win.
Right.
Tara's here. Just need to chill, get her mind off things. She's having surgery. We wish you all the best.
Oh, good.
In that, and Io is definitely winning. So, here we go. And then there's Autumn. Zoe Stark versus
Yes.
I actually like that.
Listen, the only way I could get behind that is if it's a first blood match and Chelsea wins.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I would stay away from Steve. He might take out your other quad. Just saying.
And Steve, also, that's the best way of making Chelsea babyface, complete babyface at that point.
Yeah, well, I think Chelsea's at a point too where she doesn't have to really do much,
Right.
because she's already over. They're just
her
having her. But I do love her as a heel.
Yeah, and I love the other two, or as I call them, the Chelsea handlers.
Not funny.
Did you just snort?
She just snorted live on the air. Long live shit stain Stark. Yeah. I just want to go on record, since her cameo to me, we haven't really seen much of her on TV, so I'm glad things are going well for you. But anywho, so yeah.
Something crazy happened.
What was that?
She had something crazy, like her and Shayna Baszler had this video on Instagram, and they went on like a 4-minute rant on how they deserve better and everything. And
and then something about how Liv Morgan dressed.
Yeah, and there's a reason why it didn't air on television.
Oh wow! Okay.
Just saying.
He's not wrong there.
Well, I found it entertaining.
Zoe Stark.
Well,
he just picks his spot and says it. That's great. I don't like that Chelsea's not being featured because she's such a prominent.
But
she makes the most of every opportunity.
Right,
but I do agree though that a U.S. Open challenge would be very entertaining.
I mean, they could do it. I mean, hell, it's 18 hours anyway. I'm sure you can find somewhere to fit it in.
It could be anybody.
but I just think it's kind of, like you said, though, because this is the first time we have a women's U.S. champion, and it's not being defended.
It's very strange.
Right. It's even with the Nia Valkyrie, even though I don't think, like, her IC reign's been kind of
It's the most boring title in WWE right now.
But they're going
I
after
agree.
the tag team titles with Raquel and Liv. Like, why have these belts if you're not going to defend them at all places? WrestleMania. That's what
they made this
everything
big
is supposed to be
spectacle
defended.
of creating them, and only to not do anything with them.
See, and like my thing is too, like there's matches on the card that could definitely be on Raw or SmackDown and have those titles defended instead.
Yep.
Because everything you guys are saying is 100% true. You guys made such a big deal of these titles, and it is a big deal. It was groundbreaking for the women's division, right? But then you're not showcasing it on the grandest stage of them all. And not for nothing, you have 2 nights, a total of 18 hours. You can't tell me that you can't fit it in somewhere? So, I don't know.
Even on the 3-hour pre-shows. Come on, that would actually be a big...
It'll get people to tune into the pre-show.
Exactly.
I said it last week when I said, why didn't they take these titles off these girls a while ago, knowing they're not going to be in WrestleMania? Naomi could have been walking in with a title. Somebody else could have been, like, I don't think they should have taken off Chelsea, but at least the IC title. They should have taken that title off that girl a while ago Let one of these girls that's on a singles match, the only singles match ever without a title.
And
in
now you have her
WWE.
going after the tag titles at Mania, which mean nothing.
Right.
See, I think the kind of setup with that is I think Lyra and Bailey are going to have like some problem at Mania. And I think come Monday night, Bailey's going to be the new women's intercontinental champion on Monday Night Raw.
Ooh.
I agree. I just think the women's tag team titles are stupid.
Agreed.
No, they're not.
They haven't meant anything since
In a long
Sasha
time,
and
if
Bailey.
ever.
Sasha and Bailey was probably the last time anyone gave a shit.
What about was that before or after
What are you talking about?
Oh,
Bliss-
shit. You don't,
You don't agree?
Bliss Cross applesauce was another
Okay,
one.
why don't you agree? Besides Sasha, why? Who was it?
Because Alexa, you should say to Alexa Bliss that woman that created it. She's the one that actually created it.
Alexa Bliss created the women's tag team titles?
Yes, she
Call,
did.
call me crazy, but
That's
I
inaccurate, sir.
I do like Alexa and what's her face, Raquel as champions for what I've seen lately. They're
You know what the problem is?
Thing.
You don't
available.
have enough like legit women's tag teams. That's the problem. Like you need
Right.
an entire division of tag team women. You know, like there are tag teams like the Tonga twins.
Yeah.
You know, there's women out there that are teams that you can bring in. That Hollywood chick that got over on the Netflix series, Hollywood
Yeah.
Haley or something. She's a tag team, I think, with her mother, and then somebody else. Like, there's things you could do, just as examples, but you just don't have enough teams where anyone cares. Yes, Liv and Raquel, I'm good with.
The only
But-
the only female tag team people care about now are Thunder Tits.
Oh my god, that was
Dude.
fucking
Oh my God.
hilarious.
Well,
What do you say?
hence more of a reason, Steve, on what you said, right? Like you need that title highlighted. You need a showcase, so you
Right.
got to put it on girls that create storylines or are on Raw and SmackDown every week. So that's why you got to put it on them.
I,
Hence,
and I really do
IC
like the
title
idea.
on Naomi or even like Bianca didn't have to be on this. I would have put the title on Bianca and let her walk into WrestleMania. Let somebody younger take it off of her or something. You know, like something to make sense. Elevate a girl or do something. But
I
don't
do
think-
like the idea, though, of a U.S. Open challenge. I mean, and technically, that's how you could do what David Roscoe wanted. Do a U.S. Open challenge and have Trish Stratus show up. Because then you don't need any build.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
we-
would be amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you imagine she does that and Timeless Tony come out?
Well, it's not Timeless Tony we got to worry about. Apparently, Mariah May's contract is up in the summer, and she is
I heard.
accepting offers from everybody.
Yeah, she's gonna show up in WWE, and I
Probably
also and then it sounds like there might be a return of Paige in the WWE.
Yeah, I think she should.
She
Just
says
based
she
on-
hasn't started talking to anyone yet. I don't know how true that is, but she also said that she would definitely come back if it was right.
Oh yeah,
And there's
I mean, she
people
didn't
that she
leave-
hasn't been able to work with that she wants to work with.
She
so-
didn't leave on bad terms.
no,
No.
she only left because of injury.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think though, if Triple H had started earlier than he did, Paige may not have even left at all.
Yeah, but she should like right now, just based on the ring work she did in AEW the last 2 or 3 years, she's better suited to a managerial or commentary role. Just because with the time off and with the injuries, she can't really keep as great as she was. She can't keep up with the current crop of women's wrestlers.
Well, there was one thing she did say is that she would probably take a year off
Okay.
before making a return, and she would spend that time in Natty's dungeon and getting back into Paige like shape. You know, I'm sure it's still not going to be the same. It's much, many years later,
Yeah,
and
in
as
that
you get
time-
older, it just, but
Yeah, and in that time, she could still be like an on-screen presence.
correct.
Do you guys remember WrestleMania? Gosh, a very long time ago now, right before Fighting with My Family came out. And we're just sitting there, and I forget which match it was because it was one of the New Orleans WrestleManias. Hello there, it's Paige. She like every 10 minutes they
Yeah.
played this video, and Paige just looks like a
Paige
crazy
here.
person. Yeah, she's like, Paige here. Just check out the movie Fighting with My Family. I know I sound like a chimney sweep, but like that's kind. She was like, it was the strangest thing, and they kept playing it in the arena, and it just became a joke. Like in the arena, people were like, "Oh my god, how many times we get it? Rock, we'll watch your movie. We know the
Very
Rock
good,
produced
though.
it." It was
It was very good.
That might have been the Mania in Dallas,
Yeah, whichever one it
It
was.
might
I
have been
remember there was
Dallas.
they played that
because
promo.
that was, I think, around the time that movie came out.
Yeah. But man,
Gotta admit though, for one of the regular mainstream wrestling movies, though, definitely one of the better ones.
That was a great movie.
Oh yeah.
yeah, that I mean they've started to get better.
It was 2019.
The Von Erich, okay, 2019. The Von Erichs movie.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
don't
another
shit on
one.
No Holds Barred.
Just
That was a
No,
classic.
Holds Barred. Yeah, I mean
No, don't shit on No Holds Barred. It's no
Damn
Dookie
right.
on No Holds Barred.
Dookie.
What's that smell?
According to Hulk Hogan's book that he didn't write, well, the first one that he didn't write, and then the one
Hogan
that
in the blue as Rick was kind of cool looking.
the blue was a cool look. I had the Hollywood Hulk Hogan autobiography, which was written by like Mark Madden or somebody else when he was in WWE in like 2004.
I think I
And
had that one.
according to Hulk, it was him and Vince McMahon and a whole pile of Colombian marching powder, and they just locked themselves in a hotel over the weekend and wrote a movie.
And it showed.
Yeah.
According to Hogan, is a loaded phrase.
Well, it does a lot of lifting in a lot of sentences when Hogan's talking. According
Did you
to
rip?
Terry.
What was the stupid single he
I was
used?
going
Yeah,
to
rip
rip
it.
from Metallica.
I did not see the movie yet, but anyone agree with Tara? She thought the Von Erich
Totally
movie sucked.
disagree.
No, the
But I think
movie was great. The casting on the was questionable a little bit.
I
None
like
of them
Zac
movie was good.
Efron and MJF. The others didn't really care for.
Yeah, like I mean, Zac Efron got
I
jacked for that
feel
movie.
like Zac Efron
Yeah,
should have
he
been
was.
Terry, not Kevin.
Yeah, you know what? I think
The
he
dude
should
that
have
was
been-
Kerry was like, didn't work. The worst Ric Flair I've ever seen.
Was that Was
Yeah,
the guy who
that
played,
was bad.
was
But
Kerry
the-
Jeremy
the-
Allen White
Yes.
from the Bear? Okay, yeah, that they should have flipped roles. He looks
The-
way more like Kevin.
But the cast of the Freebirds they had were great.
Yeah, some of the side characters, like you guys were saying, Ric Flair wasn't.
Their Fritz,
So hot.
Fritz was great, and the David Von Erich was great.
And Tara's right. They left out Chris. I mean, I don't know how you write in an
they
infant
did leave
drowning in
out
a puddle. You know, they have Chris, and then they left out the other one. Did they have the baby die at the beginning of the movie?
They
No.
mentioned it.
Okay,
They mentioned
did mention
it, but it
All
didn't.
right.
Yeah.
It didn't really.
And-
I
and
mean,
And that's weird. It's fine that they mentioned. That makes sense that they mentioned it,
I
but
don't
then it's
even think
weird.
they mentioned World Class as a promotion.
It's so weird that they didn't mention Chris at all, because Chris was I think Chris was the ultimate tragedy, because he wasn't built like those guys, and he had like a deficiency where he had brittle bones, and
right.
every time he took a bump, he was basically breaking a bone every time he wrestled a match. So like he was in so much pain, he just couldn't. He wasn't as athletic as these brothers. He couldn't keep up, but like he was expected to be in the business. Oh, and Ryan says they left to the fake Von Erich, but it was Lance,
Lance Von Erich.
but it was MJF playing Lance.
That was
so I just
MJF.
don't-
They didn't
I
leave
just
him
don't.
out.
I don't know if they meant. Did they mention that he was like Lance
They
Von
call-
Erich?
yeah, there's a whole tag team match with Lance Von Erich. I mean,
But is
he
the
didn't have a
fallout-
prevalent storyline, but it was in there.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The Lance thing actually was a big deal for World Class, because their attendance was going down, and they wanted something else to juice it. So they came up with another Von Erich, a Von Erich cousin, but it wasn't a real. It's like how the Andersons are cousins; they ain't cousins. So I think that's why that didn't work. People knew the Von Erich family. They were Texas natives. Everybody that went to the Sportatorium lived in Dallas. They knew them. They're like, "There's no Lance Von Erich," and then that's
But like again, like same thing like with Fighting with My Family. For a wrestling movie that
Yeah.
for anyone that's not, I mean,
We're
Like
going
you
to sit
said,
here and pick it apart because we know the true story.
wrestling movies we had No Holds Barred, we have Ready to Rumble, we have like these really cheesy
The
wrestling
Wrestler
movies.
was like,
So
yeah.
to have
The Wrestler was great.
Wrestler was great.
the wrestler,
The Wrestler
was
was
great,
the first. It
absolutely.
was the first one that was serious.
Yeah.
Right, but for most of these biopics now, at least, yeah, you pick and choose what you want to put in there, but at least it's getting, some real
Yeah.
legitimacy behind it now. So,
What about
I
Body
mean,
Slam back in the 80s? Remember that?
No.
what?
or
The one,
Paradise.
I think like Piper was in it. And...
They
Oh.
live.
I don't remember.
No,
No, he said
it
Body
was a
Slam.
wrestling movie.
Yeah, there was I think there was a 1980 movie.
Oh no, you gotta love They Live.
What about 1977 Paradise Alley with Rocky Balboa? I'm gonna be a pro wrestler.
I've come here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm
There's
all out of bubble gum.
There is literally a movie called Paradise Alley where
That one I remember.
Stallone wants to be a wrestler. Like
Yeah.
that one I haven't. That one's on my list. Ready to Rumble's free on Tubi, and I watched it. It's not good, but I love it. Like I can't stop watching that movie. And for those of you who are trying to get in the WrestleMania spirit, on YouTube right now, the WWE, either the WWE Vault or the main WWE channel, is doing a live stream where they're just live streaming the best matches from WrestleMania. Every so often they cut in like back to behind the scenes and promos. Sometimes they're playing a whole WrestleMania. They've got WrestleMania 9 up for free. They've got WrestleMania like 3 up for free. There's a whole bunch of WrestleMania stuff up right now.
Well, no one else would pay for WrestleMania 9 except for the first time that we watched it then.
Not
Oh, I
true.
know,
I
but-
loved WrestleMania 9.
I
Listen,
loved
for
it.
free,
Loved it.
that's a hell of a show. Shawn Michaels and Tatanka curtain jerking on a WrestleMania, that's crazy.
Yo, but the Steiner's Head Shrinkers match was actually
That was a
really good.
great match.
David Rosca, Triple H the Dictator is upset with the fans. I don't know where the fuck that's coming
I
from.
Where's
love
that
this.
coming from?
David, I mentioned these guys in the group chat. I've got a surprise coming.
This isn't the Reign of Terror anymore.
Well, it's a different kind of reign of terror because he's
It's a
behind the
Terror
scenes.
Rising.
So, David, we're going to do our WrestleMania show on Sunday, to recap night 1. I have a surprise for everybody, but it also, David, you're going to be interested in what I have coming to me. I thought it was going to get here today because I ordered it on Friday. It has not come yet. So I'm just recommending, David, watch the show on Sunday because you're going to want to see the package that I got.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
I'm scared.
So back to current wrestling. I got to tell you, one of the best matches on SmackDown, and I'm so happy for him. Rey Fenix. Actually, they both looked great.
Yeah.
That match was fantastic with Phoenix and Berto. Berto looked the best I've ever seen. And the two of them together was one hell of a match. So I was happy for that. Zelina Vega, Chelsea Green.
Weird finish.
Yeah, it was a weird finish.
Oh, the count out? Yeah, I think that was legit. I think what happened was Chelsea was talking to the fans. The ref was doing the count, and then she saw Zelina talk to the referee. Usually, when the opponent goes in and the referee's counting 7, 8, and the opponent goes in, it's like, wait. He'll talk to them and then restart 1, 2. But he didn't restart the count. He just kept going after talking to Zelina. So Chelsea thought she had more time than she did. She thought she had another 9 seconds to like jaw jack with the crowd. So the ref called like a shoot count out.
That's hilarious. So here's a question. What are we doing with Randy Orton? Because I honestly thought they were about to set up maybe Solo versus Randy, and then it turned into a tag team match with LA Knight and Orton versus Solo and Tonga. So now what are we doing with Orton? Is he really not wrestling at Mania?
Nick Aldis.
That's not happening. I feel like that they would have set that up already based
People
on
are
the
throwing-
arcade.
People are throwing out, guys like Aleister Black or Rusev.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh, Aleister Black would be interesting. They've been doing promos and shit.
But the only issue I have is that I really want Randy to win, and I can't, and I also don't want a returning person to lose.
Right. I mean, the reality is, if it is Aleister Black, then Randy loses.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody returning
Even if
really.
it's Rusev.
Right.
Right. He should
The only
win.
person that's losing
Rusev too,
that'll
yeah.
be a surprise is Joe Hendrick.
I have a feeling those two specifically are returning the Monday after Mania. The biggest Raw of the year. I think that's when they return. There's no reason to have them come out at Mania. There was nothing for them. You know what I mean? So I think you save that for Raw.
Are they doing the Andre the Giant?
Friday, is that Friday on SmackDown?
It's
I
on
think it might
SmackDown,
be.
yeah. So then,
God,
then
they
I
moved
agree.
it.
They have to wait till Raw. Then, yeah.
You don't want them returning to go into the fucking Andre Battle Royal.
I don't want it,
Not
but
unless
that
it was on the main
seems to
card.
be the thing that they do a lot of times when they don't have a place to put a returning wrestler. To
But that's why. But that's why there's so much hype behind it that you wait for something like Raw,
There's
because
the
you need
Andre
that to be a
Battle
big
Royal?
night.
Yeah.
What's that about?
There's the Andre Battle Royal.
Well,
Every
it's on
year.
SmackDown now.
It's on SmackDown, yeah.
They moved it to.
They get a big Andre the Giant trophy. Baron
So
Corbin
that's the
won.
Saturday. I mean the Friday after Mania.
Friday
No,
before.
I think that's happening this
It's
Friday.
this
on
Friday
SmackDown.
before Mania, yeah.
Oh.
It's
It used
before
to be on the
Hall of Fame
pre-show.
induction.
I mean, shit,
Right,
I
it
saw
used to be on the pre-show. Yeah.
it was on the main WrestleMania 30. I think it was on the main card, and Cesaro won.
I remember the one in Dallas.
Yeah.
We were like, "Oh my God, Shaq is here! Holy shit!"
Yeah, we
Oh,
had
that's right.
we had Gronk in Orlando, and the security lady. You guys remember the security lady almost stopped, like she stopped him from jumping the railing, and he's like, "No, no,
Oh
no."
yeah, with the Jinder Mahal thing, yeah.
He's like, "I'm part of the show. I'm part of the show," and she like,
She
Steve,
didn't
I'll
get
throw,
the memo.
Not a
No.
football fan, apparently.
I will throw you one, right? Well, apparently and he didn't sign with the Bucks until like a couple of years after that when Brady went down there. Not to throw a monkey wrench into your whole deal here. I have one modification. I think Rusev definitely comes out on Monday, but I think Aleister Black comes out and helps somebody night 2 in that fatal 4-way match for the Intercontinental Championship. He's going to help either Dominic or Finn, and whoever he helps, he's going to take over the Judgment Day with that person.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh, I love that.
I like that too.
Love it.
I love
Send
that
it-
a lot.
Send an email. It's not too late.
I mean, I think it's an easy way for Braun not to have to. So here we go. Braun and Penta are wrestling. They do the typical thing. You go outside. They're brawling around the ring. Penta takes Braun and hits the Fear Factor package pile driver on the announce table. Boom. They're both laid out from that bump. It's Finn and Dominic staring at each other in the ring. Lights go off. Lights come back on. Aleister Black is standing in the middle. He looks at one, looks at the other. He decides in that moment he's going to roundhouse kick one of them. The other guy gets the pin, and then he raises the hand of the winner.
Oof.
I love it.
love
Like
that.
it.
I love
Guys,
it.
I'm available. Hey, if anybody's listening, it's not that long of a drive to Stamford. I know what I'm doing.
Tara's
Yeah, that's all
pissed.
you need is to add another job there, Vince.
I know, right?
Tara's pissed that night 2 is on Easter Sunday. I have to say, it is very questionable.
Because
Timing.
it's usually the first week or two of April, and now they stretched it out.
This is very late in April. For
It's
the
late,
draft.
and I feel like the hype for the promos peaked last week. Like we were all excited last week, and like not that Monday, but I feel like the only real headline from Monday was the main event segment with the triple threat guys, and everything else is like everybody's basically said what they're going to say.
Yeah, and,
You know,
and
leading up-
I also wish Jey Uso was as serious as he was last week.
Right, that was like that was what we needed from Jay, but I know that's not the character that they want him to.
As long as he's that Jey Uso at WrestleMania, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it. You know what I mean?
And we got Cena and Cody. Obviously, we're not on Raw.
Yeah, that's coming this week.
Right, they're having their
They're
final,
both there. So
the go home, as they say, for the WrestleMania promo is going to be Friday. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
So maybe we should start going through the lineup and give our takes on winners and losers.
Yeah, because there's Jesus, 2 nights. We got to go through 13, 14 matches. Yeah.
So Saturday's lineup: Roman, Rollins, Punk, and Heyman.
Yeah, you want to start there? Or you want to go from the bottom and go like War Raiders, New Day for the tag teams?
Heyman is
Yeah,
almost like a
start slow.
championship at
Give us
this
some
point.
appetizers. Jesus.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, we can.
We got 2 nights. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but we don't do the main event right away. We don't want to.
Yeah, like,
All right.
you can't give me a T-bone right away.
All right. Well, then let's
Start
start
with
with
the
what's going to open, and we'll start with Gunther and Jey Uso.
Ooh.
I
Jey
mean,
Uso.
it's got to be Jey Uso.
It's got to be Jay.
Everything dictating wrestling logic says Jey Uso. I still I would love Gunther to pull out a shocking win.
It would be a shock.
Yeah.
Because I was just watching a match from an earlier 2 WrestleManias ago now, where Gunther had the Intercontinental Championship and it was like a triple threat. Drew McIntyre was in it.
And Sheamus. Yeah,
And
that match was incredible.
Right, and those 2 guys, so Sheamus and Drew basically took each other out, and he retained. But I was like watching that and like, oh my god, this Gunther guy's the fucking man. So it gets me hyped for that match. I hope Jay keeps up his end of the bargain. Jay's probably going to go over.
Yeah, I'm going with Jay.
Yeah,
100%, Jay. Jay deserves it.
Under protest on my end. Not that he doesn't deserve it. I just think Gunther winning that's fascinating to me. But anyway, Jay wins.
I just don't think that his run has been bad. Wow, expecting for what you expect
from him. It hasn't been
as
good as his Intercontinental title run.
No, I mean if you look at, unfortunately, the 2 men's world champions since WrestleMania last year, they haven't lost their titles. Well, no, I'm sorry. Damian Priest lost to Gunther, but look at Cody and Gunther's runs. They're not as good as they could have been. The title defenses weren't where they could have been. And
they went into Cody's with no plan.
No, I feel like they really were just like, okay, we have to keep the title on Cody until next WrestleMania. So he's just going to wrestle Shinsuke and AJ and all these guys who are semi-credible, but definitely not winning. And I don't know, there should have been some other challenge. It just felt like Cody's contenders were all just placeholders for him to make it to this weekend. And we're here. And
even though there were times where I really did think Kevin Owens could pull it off.
I think it would have been worth it, especially now, looking at the fact that he got so fucked up from these matches that he has to have, and collective wrestling injuries, but these last couple matches with Cody really put his neck injury over the top.
Yeah.
Now, with the benefit of hindsight, Kevin Owens should have won the ladder match, or one of those matches, and then Cody should have gotten it back. But Kevin should have held that belt for 2 weeks, a month. So, a shocking upset like that isn't going to hurt Cody, especially if he wins it back.
But then we'd all be talking about how shitty it is that it was a 2-week run or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kevin deserves better than that.
Unless the injury, wasn't that bad, and then we ended up with Kevin Owens defending against Randy Orton in the main event.
Which they wouldn't put over Cena or Cody at this point.
Right, yeah.
So here's a match that has no business being at WrestleMania. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
I had that at Starbucks yesterday.
Wait. What do you mean? No, it doesn't belong in WrestleMania. That is
It doesn't
great
mean
match.
I would rather have one of those women title. I would have rather had one of those women title matches.
That match has
rather than
some
this fucking
of the
match.
best storyline and suspense we've been waiting for over a month. Do not give me that. I want to see who the hell's behind that mask. God damn it. Although I know who's behind that mask, I want to see it with my own eyes. And I don't know why, but I got a goddamn feeling when they take his mask off, it's not going to be him.
Oh, how
I
fucking
feel like he's
great
going to
would
go
that
into the
be?
ring and somebody else is going to come out.
Like
and they're
when
gonna
Coco
fuck with us.
Beware ended up being the blue blazer.
Yeah.
You read my mind. Last week I said I wanted El Grande Americano. I want a fat Grande. I want a black Grande. I want I want them to take the mask off and it's freaking Mondo Guerrero underneath the mask. You know what I mean?
What's Hector doing these days?
That's what I'm saying. Hector was the gobbledygooker. He could come back. But I see what you're saying, Steve. It's they really just developed very
It
close to
screams Raw match to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's a Raw or SmackDown match. I would have rather had the U.S. women's match or the women's IC title match in place of this, as an example. This is what we were talking about earlier. This is a match that doesn't belong on the card, in my opinion. But I will say,
this is a space filler match, and
El Grande Americano, I do believe, is going to be victorious.
Going over. And then eventually it'll lead to him and Ray again, and it'll be mask versus mask, and,
Yeah, dude, I think
true.
I honestly think we're in a
But
Kurt and Eric Angle situation.
Yeah.
Where Ray is going to grab a masked guy and hit the 619 and the splash and all that shit on him. and then he's going to pin him, and he's going to wait a minute, it's not him, and he's going to stand up, and then El Grande Americano is going to come in, roll him up real quick, 1, 2, 3,
like the
boom.
Killer Bees used to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it won't be funny and or entertaining. I just would rather that not be at WrestleMania.
I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. El Grande Americano has only been in the WWE for a month, and he's already got a WrestleMania match. That's pretty good for a rookie.
Naomi versus Jade Cargill. I mean, you got to go with Cargill, right?
Correct.
Even though Naomi's been getting the short end of the stick lately when it comes to Jade, but I don't see how Jade loses.
No, because I was just looking at the matches, and if the women's world title match with Bianca was on night 1 instead, my theory was going to be that Bianca would help Naomi win.
Yeah.
But the time it wouldn't work out, because then
timing doesn't work.
Bianca would be turning before her. She would be turning on night 1 and then wrestling a match in night 2, and that wouldn't work.
Only to not win the title, that would be stupid.
Exactly. Yeah. So she'd have to win. She would have had to win on night 1 and then help Naomi win on night 2. But as it stands, Jade Cargill's winning.
War Raiders, New Day. I got to go with the New Day.
I feel like they're setting up for title change.
As much as I would rather see the War Raiders hold them,
Same.
I think it's going to be New Day.
What?
Correct.
While we're
Same
on
feeling.
this, real quick, what do you think of a staple? Not so much a staple, but have like the New Day be like associated with Cena on his heel run?
Why?
Well, because
I think that would be my question. Like,
I don't know, just I guess the heel. I don't know.
Because they're both these are both acts that were never really supposed to turn heel, and now they're both heel. Like, remember when heel New Day was like,
just because the way they turn
with Rollins,
they blame the fans. Cena blames the fans.
well,
it wouldn't have to be a permanent pairing, but I think maybe like a triple threat, like a 6-man tag match. They could do that.
They'd be the only ones willing to team with him, kind of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, and it could give them more, legitimacy, teaming with a guy like Cena.
Only because I feel like their heel turn hasn't really had the juice. Like, they started the heel turn by turning on a guy who theoretically they can never have a match with. So, like, all the heat went to Big E, and then there was nowhere else to direct the heat to. So then they were like, "You people, you fans," which is fine.
This is why New Day needs the
which is why all of this is why I think they're winning as well. Yeah.
Yeah, New Day definitely has to get a win. LA Knight, Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title. I mean, here's where I have a problem, because on instinct, you got to automatically go with Fatu.
Yep.
The other side of me does, right, there's a solo factor. Does he cost Jacob the title, which then...
accidentally or not.
Correct.
Right.
Like, he's going to say, I don't need you guys, I can do this on my own. They show up. And then that could also lead to the Jacob Fatu face turn, because he's over anyway. So this would give the reason to have him go full face.
The only reason I would be okay with Jacob losing this match is
in that scenario.
Well, in a scenario like that, where then they go, okay, realistically, Jacob's too over to be U.S. champion. Let's have him now. Like, they bump him up to like
world title status.
World title status. Switch him over to maybe have conflict with Solo and switch him over to Raw, and then he goes against Jay. Like, I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I wouldn't mind if Jacob was the Rumble winner and challenger for next year's Mania.
No, I don't think anybody would.
No, I think that would be great. Actually.
That would be awesome. David Roska thinks LA Knight.
Hey.
I think you're smoking something.
He's in California, man. I think he's like,
yeah.
He's supporting the California man. Yeah.
Roman, Rollins, Punk, Heyman.
What about Tiffy and Charlotte?
Oh, you're right. Yes. All right, go back. Tiffy versus Charlotte. That's a tough one. You know what? I'm only going to go with this because record-wise, Charlotte does not have a great Mania record. I'm going to go Tiffy retains.
Yeah, I was going to say I think Charlotte needs to show the fans that she's willing to do a little bit of business. And because I think if she just comes back wrestles a match at WrestleMania, wins the title back. There's no
Comes back, wins the Rumble.
There's no drama to it. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's okay, typical Charlotte stuff. And then I think her title run wouldn't work. But
heel Charlotte chasing is great.
If she loses at WrestleMania and it like drives her nuts,
she becomes
and then,
more unhinged. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's more ways you can go.
Like
it's
how
a more
good
interesting
did she look
story.
in the street clothes when she attacked Tiffany at in the parking lot.
I think she is unhinged for the fact that she is going to lose. That's why I think she's losing. Her attitude's
Because
like,
she's
I
unhinged.
think she's such a diva that she's get like all this backlash and all this behind the scenes shit
Like
is
she's
because
her own
she's
worst
going to
enemy.
lose. So she's just trying to get away with as much as she can. I don't think Tiffy could lose to her. Like, I don't think it makes sense. They'll kill her character.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense.
I agree.
Oh, dude, I saw this thing. Let me see. I might have to switch cameras. Go ahead and read his comment.
David Rosca. Asuka should have won WrestleMania 34 against Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right.
I'll agree with that.
So I know you probably can't. Well, maybe you can or can't see this. It's the meme says it's 2025 and we're getting Sabrina Carpenter versus Cher at WrestleMania.
Oof.
Yeah.
And we know who Cher is.
Well, do you believe
in Charlotte?
Oh man, yeah. I want Tiffany to win. I think it's for the best.
She should win. Night 2.
Absolutely.
Night 2, we got the Sin City Street Fight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. I want to go on record by saying I could care less. To be honest, I don't give a shit. I am not invested in this match at all. I don't know why. I'm not. If I have to pick somebody, I'm going to go with McIntyre. He needs a win.
Going with Drew because he gets his win back from Damian cashing in last year.
And this is again, it's another story. We had to wait a year to resolve, and it's just like, man. Yeah, I appreciate long-term storytelling, but maybe they should have wrapped this one up
But
6 months
after
ago.
all the work that Drew put in, Drew needs this.
He needs to get he needs a win. He gets so shafted at WrestleMania. Yeah, he needs a win.
There's no way he could lose to, with all due respect to Damian Priest. He cannot lose to Damian Priest.
If he loses, he's leaving Las Vegas and getting right on Tony Khan's private jet. That's the only way he's
100%.
losing.
Only way. No way he's losing.
I'll be the odd one out. I'm going with my boy Damian.
You're going with Damian. Tyra, I don't care either.
I am.
She agrees with me.
So Drew, yeah.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can't go with your heart. You have to go with what you think is going to happen. Just saying.
Well, so if we go by that logic, after the ass whooping that Damian just took on Friday night, yeah, I'm still going with Damian.
Ooh, yeah,
that's fair. He did get an ass whooping. He
did, so that could be, yeah.
That is true. That is valid.
I mean, that was 1 cell and a half out on those steps.
Yeah, that's true.
We
That
still
is
got
very
SmackDown.
true. We do still have SmackDown, and it doesn't seem like the brand split means anything WrestleMania week. So
We do still have SmackDown, but the focal point on that SmackDown is going to be like how the last focal point was of just between Punk, Roman, and Seth. Friday night's going to
Cody and Cena.
It's going to be majorly focused on Cody and John
Cena.
and Charlotte and Tiffany. We're barely going to hear about Damian.
I could see Tiffany and Charlotte being towards the beginning, and then the
Right, but
finishing.
we're barely going to hear about Damian and Drew. That their sell point was last Friday. It's not going to be this Friday.
I don't know. There could be some retribution. There could be some retribution, like a backstage brawl, like an attack. Damian.
Yeah, we can't use that word anymore. Retribution's done in wrestling.
That's true.
Yeah, sorry.
My apologies.
We're gonna get gas masks.
Women's Tag Championship: Liv Morgan and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra. I gotta go with Morgan and Rodriguez.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Valkyria doesn't need 2 belts.
Right. And based on what I saw, I think Liv and Raquel are doing good. The whole big little thing, like the 2 types of tag teams you usually like are
Diesel, Shawn Michaels.
Right, a Diesel, Shawn Michaels, or like Eric said, like a Killer Bees, where they're almost like, or like the Rockers, 2 guys that are kind of similar in size and build. That's cool because they're almost like twins or siblings. But then I also like Team Little Big.
Yeah, or like I like how the Hart Foundation worked. Totally different work, but they complemented each other.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, you had the technical, and then you had the bruiser.
Yeah, that was Big Little. Cause
Yeah.
Jim Nile was big as hell. He just was
right.
He
tall,
was
but
a big boy.
He was a tank.
He was.
One match that I am extremely excited about, and that is the Braun Breaker Penta Finn Balor Dominic Mysterio match. I think Dominic's gonna do it.
Yeah, I think Dominic may pull out the win.
I do.
Fucking Dom.
I think Dirty Dom is finally getting the strap.
This is the one we're gonna be most split on. I could already tell.
Cat's having agita. You could tell by the video.
Yeah, but the thing is, if it would be nice if Penta won, but I mean, think about like
Penta doesn't need to win yet.
This, right? Yeah,
because he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to be the one that gets pinned. But Penta doesn't have to be pinned.
Finn is getting pinned.
Yeah, I think Finn's getting pinned.
And I think he's going to catch a kick from Aleister Black
Dominic
first.
pinning his stable member.
Right. Which is why when I pitched, I didn't want to say who because at the time I was like, it could be either Judgment Day guy. But right now, based on what we're saying, if Aleister Black comes back to interfere in that match, he's going to kick Finn's head into the third row, and then Dominic's going to win.
Okay, if Aleister so then all right, you may have
That
just
could
convinced
save it.
me,
Okay.
Vince.
That could save it.
Yeah, but I don't know.
but
I
even-
still think
even-
Aleister showing up at Mania is a long shot. I think it's a
Even
great
if he
idea,
doesn't
but I think
show
it's a
up.
long shot.
Even if he doesn't show up, you can have Braun Breaker with one of those crazy spears.
Yes.
Go through the freaking
And Dom
the
just sneaks in and
Raptors.
steals the pin.
And Dominic sneaks in with like Carlito spitting an apple in Finn's face and God knows
Right.
what he hits him with, and then Frog Splash later 1, 2, 3, and we got a new champ.
Yeah, I agree.
Does Dom have this sounds silly, but like, does he have a finishing move? Like, I don't know. Like,
Frog Splash, no? Frog Splash.
Frog Splash. Okay, yeah.
I also think it's a good
619
visual.
Frog Splash.
It's a tadpole splash when he does it.
Yeah.
No tadpole.
I do think also it's a good visual with Dom and Liv both having championships.
Yeah, that's true. So that could work. All that could work.
AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
Might be match of the night, by the way.
It might be. And I almost feel like it might have to be Logan Paul.
Well, I
Yeah.
think
Well,
Karrion Cross is
considering AJ's on the tail end of his career.
Oh, that's true. Carrion might be involved. That's
Yeah,
true.
you got Karrion.
but we don't know.
Who,
his-
by the way, looked awesome
yeah,
last night.
Yes.
They brought back the old entrance. He was brutal as hell. Even though AJ got over, he fucking looked great.
He did.
Well,
Yep.
and
That was the
also-
best we've seen out of Carrion in a long time.
And
And
Karrion
Starlight
Kross-
always looks good.
If you notice, Karrion Cross put his arms behind his back and took the forearm.
Yep.
Like he intentionally, like he let him do it. So yeah, there's something brewing there, and I feel like Cross will be involved in that match. I don't know if he's necessarily going to help AJ or not, because it almost feels like this is one of those things where it's like Cross is preying on somebody who's at like their lowest. So AJ has to like lose at WrestleMania in a humiliating way to like get to like have Karrion Cross like recruit him to his cause or whatever. Like,
Sometimes the way they use Cross reminds me of that character that they tried with Sean O'Hare years ago,
the Devil's Advocate.
the Devil's Advocate thing.
Then they put him with Roddy Piper and completely killed it.
Yeah, and they pulled off Zach Gowen's leg, and
Yeah,
Io, Bianca, Rhea.
I've been saying EO since the
Io.
start.
Yeah,
Io.
I got to stick with
Io.
Io.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
riding.
going with EO.
I'm riding EO. Well, that's
All
a
right. We're all agreeing that we're riding Io.
word.
well, I think that's what
Well, I don't know if I'm riding on EO, but
I just mean I've been riding this prediction for 6 weeks or something, man. I have not wavered.
Like you wanted to do last week when she came out in the little booty shorts.
She did look great.
yeah.
All right. Now the meat and potatoes. Cody Rhodes, John Cena. I got to go with Cena.
Cena.
It's gotta be Cena.
Yeah.
It has to be Cena.
It has to be heel Cena.
We can't
If it-
have
yeah.
Cody anymore. I'm sorry. I love Cody, but it's the end.
But the other
Pre-heel turn, I would have gone with Cody, but heel Cena, it's got to be Cena.
It's got to be Cena.
Has to be Cena.
Has to be. I'll be
David-
so disappointed.
yeah, because
Yeah.
the problem with Cena losing is the same problem that they had when Cena was when Cena was young and he was a babyface champion. They would take guys like Kurt Angle, who was super over, and turn him heel to try and get Cena over, and it ended up having the reverse effect. Cena would
it
get
happened with
booed more.
Jericho, happened with Angle.
Kurt Angle literally said he hated Jesus Christ in Boston with a bunch of Irish Catholics there, and they cheered him. Like it's tough. Like how do you get cheered? But anyway, it's the similar situation. If
alcohol, that's how it happens.
Right? Yeah, for sure, definitely. But this is a similar situation. I feel like if Cody wins at WrestleMania, John Cena's heel turn for the rest of his
It was all for nothing.
right? Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. And I also feel like I hate to keep implying that there's going to be interference in some of these matches, but I mean, it is WWE and the main events are usually littered. I mean, last year was Interference-a-Mania. So I just feel like The Rock might have a presence. He might recruit, like the speculation is that he could recruit somebody. So some of the theories floated out there is that Seth Rollins. So remember Rock was doing the 3, he did a 3, and then he did a 2, and he hasn't done a 1 yet. But on Raw, Seth made a 1, and people are like, maybe Seth is the third man in their NWO. But somebody else said that the first time Travis Scott got introduced on Raw, he came out with Jey Uso, and they made an entrance through the crowd, and he was rapping and everything, and it was Jey Uso's friend, Travis Scott. Well, Travis Scott's also friends with The Rock, and Jay's also related to The Rock. So could it be that new world champion babyface Yeet Jay, I think that this is least likely, but that he's the third man in their group. I think a third man's getting revealed in this match, is what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Is so hot right now. There's no way you turn Jey Uso.
I agree, but I'm just telling you what's being floated out there. Is
it would be you talk about shock value.
Yeah,
that would be shocking. But David Rosca thinks Bianca Belair will win the women's title. You are in the minority, sir. John Cena, he does agree, 17th title. Yeah. And Trish Stratus will join The Rock and Cena and Travis Scott. That makes no sense at all, my friend, but okay.
I don't hate it.
I do think Travis Scott does get involved and gets his comeuppance from Cody, though. Cody gets his receipt.
Cody's got it. Oh my God, Cody's going to smack the taste out of that guy's mouth.
But I also would love, hopefully, to see Rock take one more stunner.
Oh,
we're in Austin's backyard now.
Austin is going to be there.
Yes, yes, he's going to be there for him and Brett. So.
But it's so interesting that he turned down the Undertaker spot at last year's WrestleMania, which to me would have I understand the Undertaker's legacy in WWE, but The Rock's biggest rival, Stone Cold, coming back.
Yeah,
that to do that instead, that would have blown the doors.
But if The Rock shows up, Austin's in the house. Yeah, something could still happen this go around.
Right,
and we got to remember who took the best stunner ever. The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
It sure as fuck wasn't Vince McMahon.
It was The Rock.
Although it was entertaining. Scott Hall took a real good stunner.
He did too. Yeah. Oh, well, while we're talking,
Shane did good stunners.
Yeah. While we're talking about this match though, the main event, did anyone listen to Busted Open today?
No.
Not yet. No.
Bully Ray was talking about how last year was like a new hope with Cody winning, and this year he was saying like you can't always have WrestleMania be like the happy ending thing. That doesn't work anymore. It's not the 80s anymore. So this would be like
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
With evil Darth Cena, and then next year could be,
But see, that's the thing too, because as over as a heel John Cena is, this is a WrestleMania crowd. You're gonna have fans cheering the shit out of Cena, no matter how heelish he is. So true. It's gonna be interesting because that Mania and Raw crowd is some of the best there is. Outside of international at this point.
The only way I could see Cody winning is if they end up doing a double turn where that's how John loses, but that would be stupid.
Eric, you read my mind of what if the crowd forces a WrestleMania 18?
Like a Hulk Hogan situation?
Like Hogan Rock. Yeah.
I don't think so, but like that would
Ooh.
be like
That's
if
the only way Cody would win.
I haven't had enough of Cena heel, so that's
Right.
no,
got to
I love
continue.
right. I think this is a
Right.
I think
We haven't. Yeah,
We've waited so fucking long for this.
yeah.
Don't take it away yet.
We need
Let
a
it
little,
ride out.
a little run for, you know.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, all this talk, we have reached the top of the hour.
My goodness. So I want to know. and
2
I guess-
o'clock on Sunday?
Well, I was just going to ask, what time should we do this on Sunday?
Does that work
What's
for
good
everybody? 2 o'clock gets us to 3, and that's right before the pre-show, right? At 4 o'clock?
Yep.
Excellent. We'll get
It's perfect because we get to talk about night 1 and what's going to happen on night 2. It's perfect.
and then night 2 and Raw happen, and then we're back on Tuesday, and we can talk about everything else,
You got it.
which is fantastic.
good.
So yeah, if you're, we'll work on. I'm going to work on some graphics to get let people know that we're doing the WrestleMania thing this Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you're already following if you're on the Tag Me a Date YouTube, you hit subscribe and you hit the notification bell, you're going to get an alert when we go live. If you like us already, if you like the Tag Me a Date page on Facebook, you'll have the stream right there as well. If you're friends with Steve on Facebook, you'll have that stream. Those are the 3 places we live stream right now: Steve's personal Facebook, our Tag Me a Date fan page, and then the YouTube Tag Me a Date page. Those are the best places to you interact, like Tara and David and Ryan were today in the comments. Throw us your questions and all that, and we'll put them up because there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot to get to in that hour. We're gonna be talking about a whole night of a whole card of 7 matches, probably a lot of interesting finishes. There might be something unexpected. We don't know. So Sunday, 2 p.m. Check us out there. If you want to follow us on social media, as I said, the Facebook is Tag Me a Date. The YouTube is Tag Me a Date. Just put those in the search bar and it'll pop right up. On Instagram and X/Twitter, we are Tag Me a Date. It's all one word with no spaces. And that's also on a lot of other social media, except TikTok, which is the War Report podcast. Or is it War Report? Yeah, okay. The War Report podcast?
War Report Podcast.
War Report Podcast on TikTok. I'll remember this after the 18th time I've said it. War Report Podcast on TikTok. You can check the Instagram and the TikTok for shorts and reels of the show. So if you missed something from the last week, Steve's got this thing that clips up a whole bunch of little snippets of us talking about various things from the episode prior. And if you need the audio version instead of the video version, you just go to your favorite podcast apps, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts. Just search for the War Report and Tag Me a Date. Throw it in the search bar. You'll see the graphic that I got on the TV here. It's also up in that big right-hand corner. You'll see the graphic with the logo, and it'll say the War Report with Steve and Vince and Eric and everybody. And it's got everybody's got our names in the description. Hit subscribe to that, and Ryan grabs the audio MP3, uploads it, and it's usually up within an hour of the show going off live. So around 10 p.m. Eastern time on your Tuesday nights. You can take it with you. Basically, if you subscribe, you don't have to do anything. It just it automatically goes to your phone or your tablet because of you're subscribed now. And that's really it. I mean, guys, thanks for being in the comments. This is the big show, as they say. This is the dance. This is the one you wait all year for.
It's a really big show.
It's a really big show. Oh my God, nobody's gonna get that. We're the
Nobody
only
gets
ones that are gonna
that.
get that. Oh my God. But yeah, man, this is it. This is the Super Bowl and Christmas and all that shit wrapped up. And we'll be back to talk about it. Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's the WrestleMania Night 1 wrap-up show. And then regularly scheduled Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time for the War Report After Dark to discuss WrestleMania Night 2
Hey,
and
look,
the Raw
if
after
WrestleMania is going to have a night 1 and night 2, so do we.
Exactly. So tune in Sunday at 2 and Tuesday at 9, and you'll hear our entire discussion about WrestleMania and the Raw after. So I hope to see everybody there Sunday afternoon. Happy WrestleMania week, everybody. Have a good one. WrestleMania.